Turn the microphone on. Make sure the microphone's turned on. So, what have we got going on today? Snowy Saturday here on the east coast of the good old USA. And we've got some other news. We have a very, very viable option to convert transcribed captions into usable titles. It's available now. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I've still got something going on here, some kind of, I don't know what it is. It's been going on for a long time. I've had it for quite a while. Combination of things. It's even got to the point where I'm drinking tea instead of coffee. Let me clarify that. I've already had one cup of coffee this morning. This is, for this show, I got a cup of tea. Absolutely. English breakfast tea is what it is. So we're going to talk about what's going on with Final Cut Pro, because right now the Logic Pro team has put out 2 bug fix updates since Logic Pro 11.1 came out at the Creative Summit. What does that mean? That means we give applause to the Logic Pro team. Logic Pro team is killing it. They put out 2 bug fix updates since Logic 11.1 came out at the Creative Summit in November. 2, not 1. They had 1 out before Christmas, before they went on Christmas break, and now they've put out a second one already. They've had 2 in probably about 6 weeks. That's incredible. Both of them, curiously, came out on Mondays. Now, I have not been keeping track of when Logic Pro updates come out, what day of the week, but I have been keeping track of what day of the week Final Cut Pro updates come out. And that, number 1, is Thursdays. I know, buddy, over there from the X platform. Good evening from the Netherlands. Good evening, absolutely. It should now be buy me a tea. No, we're sticking to coffee. I hope it's really strange. So I haven't had anything. It's beginning of December, I started catching something, whatever the heck's going on. Cough in my throat, no fever, no sore throat, no fever, just cough. Back of my throat. I went to see a doctor. He gave me some medicine that I took. It seemed to have helped, but it lingered on for quite a while, weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, the other thing I have to tell you is I can't see the comments coming in because I don't have my right glasses yet. They're getting redone at the eye doctor, so I have to drag it over to see what it says because I can't read it to the side. Maybe they have another feature update coming soon and we'll roll bug fixes into that. Ever the optimist? Very well could be. The odd thing that was a comment from Facebook. The odd thing, we have 100 people watching live right now, Facebook, YouTube, and X, which is really, really cool. Just going to do this. Yes. Keep track of these things. The one odd thing that I thought was really strange is we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Let me see. There you go. We are going to talk about the thing that I found strange with the 11 update for Final Cut Pro in a minute. I got to pull these. I can't read the comments till they come on screen. The bug with magnetic mask and compressor must be more difficult to fix than first thought. I wonder what the problem might be. Well, I don't know what the specific problem might be, but I think maybe they need to widen the beta program for Final Cut Pro so they can catch some of these bugs before they release the version that comes out. Now, once again, Logic Pro's had 2 bug fixes, but they put them out in 6 weeks, about 6 weeks, something like that. That's pretty, once again, applaud to the Logic Pro team. They're doing a great job. So, I've got really good news about the transcribe to captions feature of Final Cut Pro and the update to the plugin animation, what is it called? Caption animator from our friends over there at Intelligent Assistance. And I'm going to do a live demo on Final Cut Pro here. I'm going to check my temperature of my CPU. It's at 146 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I want to make sure it doesn't go up too high. I have this app that has temperature, throughput, SSD storage, CPU percent, memory, and I can adjust the fan speed if necessary in that application. I can adjust it manually, which I really, really like. That's with my Mac Mini Pro that I absolutely love. Now, this is what we have outside. This is what we have outside. We've had 2 snows in a week, neither one of them major. The first one was 5 or 6 inches. The one last night, I would say, was 2 or 3 inches on the East Coast. Not unusual for this time of the year at all. It's very usual, as a matter of fact. It's very, very usual. But I was out early this morning doing some... Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. I was out early this morning doing some snow blowing and maintenance on our driveways. Very, very cool. Lots of thumbs up. There's another one. You're going to wear my thumbs up button out. And there's another one just came in. Excellent. Maybe it's harder to fix NLE bugs versus DAW bugs, and it is Mac OS related. Whatever, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there's a reason. I don't think they're just saying, we're going to hold back. No, we're going to hold back on this update to Final Cut Pro. No, I know that's not the case. I'm just curious. There could be a lot of reasons. It could be more difficult. It could be they're going to put maybe a feature update. There's our friend, Ben Balzer from Louisiana, I think, right? I think that's where he's from. I think that's where he's from. And so the fact that Logic Pro is so proactive on getting these bug fixes out, it's like, okay, whatever you're doing over there in Logic Pro team, can you lend some of that juice to the Final Cut Pro team? Give them a little bump. Now, here personally, I've been using Final Cut Pro 11 since it came out, and I'm not seeing the bugs because I'm not doing the same things that the people that are reporting the bugs are doing. So I haven't seen the bugs. I reported the bug initially. I don't know if it's been remedied or not. I don't know if it's remedied or not. But I do expect Final Cut Pro, got to stop calling it 10. 10's in the rear view, Final Cut Pro 11. 10's in the past, Final Cut Pro 11 is the present and the future. So I do expect Final Cut Pro 11 to have an update, bug fix, maybe throw a feature in. That would always be welcome as well. But I don't expect, so I expect the bug fixes for Final Cut Pro to be Final Cut Pro 11.0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 until we get to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit next year in November, and that'll be Final Cut Pro 11.1, probably. Probably. That's what Logic did. Logic went from 11.0 and it was updated to 11.1 at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, when we had our very, very cool presentation from the Final Cut Pro team. Very cool. So I'm having some more tea here. So how's everybody doing? We're in 2025. How is everybody doing? Is everybody doing okay? Besides a few of the bug fixes that Final Cut Pro needs, yes, we know about those. Let me see what this comment says. What makes your Final Cut Pro groups fantastic is we share workarounds to our workflow. Thank you. We have a lot of Final Cut Pro groups. We have FCTV, Final Cut TV and Coffee, Final Cut TV and Radio. We have Final Cut Pro Tips and Tricks. Those are the two biggest ones. We also have a few other Final Cut Pro Facebook groups. We also have the Final Cut Pro community on X. That's us. We're over there. 250 or 60 people in that right now. So that's pretty cool. So let me just go back to my checklist here. So this is, I'm going to pull this up. This is the plugin that I'm referring to from our friends over there at Intelligent Assistance, Dynamic Captions. Is that what it's called? Dynamic, available on the Mac store. I think it's Dynamic Captions or Titles or something, one or the other. But what it does, it converts the auto captions that Final Cut Pro does into usable titles. As of now, they're very, very usable. With this new update, very usable, and we're going to do a live demonstration here in a few minutes after we get rid of some other business. But that's what we're talking about. What else do we have? So here's Logic Pro. It's like, okay, it's updated for the second time. I was kind of surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that they had a second update that came out on a Monday, 16 hours ago, version 11.1.2. So Final Cut Pro will be 11.0.1. Probably. So when it comes to workarounds for Final Cut Pro for things, that's one thing. While we're waiting on a bug fix, maybe there's a workaround people share. While we're waiting on the scrolling timeline to come into Final Cut Pro, 13 and a half years, we could use Chris Hawking's solution for a scrolling timeline. Those are workarounds. When I talk about things in Final Cut Pro that I want to see natively in Final Cut Pro. So I was waiting for a scrolling timeline natively in Final Cut Pro. Well, we finally got it. Finally got it a year and a few months ago at the Creative Summit 2023. So, do you have anything you want to talk about before we go into the workflow with the new plugin? Well, it's new as of the Creative Summit, but this update makes it very, very usable. Very usable. So let's do this. I finished a January episode of the show. I edited and uploaded it to Spectrum. Long downtime expected till March or April episode, okay? Is that your podcast? Is that your podcast you're referring to? Over there on the X platform. Let me just check, make sure everything's going well. Check over here. Let me just see something. Just checking. Just checking comments, because sometimes the comments aren't coming through. I just want to double check. No, he said, I know, buddy, public access show. Very, very cool. Secret places in the open air. Very cool. Your groups are open in not only your Hollywood and broadcast workflow, so fantastic for more modest editors' works. Yes, I mean, I like the Final Cut Pro community probably is 5 million, 6 million at this point, because they stopped announcing how many Final Cut Pro seats that there are available, but they did announce it prior at NAB, 2 NABs in a row. 2018, it was 2.5 million seats. We haven't heard from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, or 2024, or 2025. So 7 years now, we haven't heard anything. So it was 2.5 million then, probably up to 5 or 6 million at this point, especially as good as Final Cut Pro has gotten. Slightly off topic, but is anyone still waiting on Motion VFX to come out with OM3 or MO3? I'm sure people are, because I think they were promised that update. Anything related to Final Cut Pro we can talk about in this. Anything related to Final Cut Pro. We're going to go over to see how this plugin works and see how good the new update is. Sometimes I like coffee, sometimes I like tea. I had a cup of coffee this morning, but I felt like tea today. I was out doing the snow thing earlier, so I figured I'd want some tea. And I like it. Tastes great. Adobe and Avid stopped publishing seat numbers too, so it's a guessing game. Well, okay, that's true. But it's not that important, except for the fact that Apple did it publicly at NAB 2 years in a row. 2 million in 2017, 2.5 million in 2018. And if you extrapolate that, 500,000 in 1 year, from 2017 to 2018, 500,000 seats were added in 1 year. Now, Final Cut Pro's gotten a lot better since then. It's a lot more valuable since then. So I expect, I'm going to say 5 million to 6 million. Somebody from Apple can correct me if that's incorrect. Ben says, I stopped waiting on Motion VFX for MO3. It's been 2.5 years. You're kidding me. 2.5 years is ridiculous. Way too long. Moving forward with free alternatives that are easy to use. Well, is MO3, is that the rotoscoping thing that we got in Final Cut Pro with the magnetic mask? Is that what that is? What are your alternatives? Is that what that is? Is that the rotoscoping thing that we got with the magnetic mask? Is that what you're talking about, MO3? I don't know. I'm not going to subscribe to anything like that, so. A lot of people watching over there on the X platform, which has been what's been going on recently for years. I've been live streaming on Periscope on X for years, and I never stopped. I never stopped. Ben, can you tell us if that's what the MO3 is is that the rotoscoping magnetic mask thing that we got for free in Final Cut Pro 11? Here's our friend Brett Williams. No power all night here. You're kidding me. What is your source of heat? French press camp coffee today. MO2 was a 3D modeling plugin. Okay, not that. Let's go back to our friend Brett Williams. No power all night here. What is your source of heat? Brett, is it electric? You have no power? We have a wood-burning stove, 2 wood-burning stoves, one downstairs, one upstairs. That would keep us, and I have 2 years worth of firewood if it became necessary. And I got electric. I have a gas-powered generator that I hook it up and power basic things if we lost electricity. So we're covered. And I have a gas-powered barbecue grill outside that I could use for making bacon and eggs, heating up hot water for coffee. So we're covered for all those things, as long as there's nothing extraordinary going on. That said to me 2 years ago, there will be update. MO2 is sort of 3D model. Okay, 3D modeling. There you go. Gas, but requires electric for the blower. It's Georgia. We'll be okay because you're warmer. Yeah, if you get cold, come on up here to the East Coast. I'll set up a room for you. We're toasty. We're toasty. The wood-burning stove I have has an internal thermometer where what do they call it? It's a place where the gases get reburned, some kind of a thing, and it's 1,000 degrees in there. Now, if we didn't have the fan, it wouldn't quite be as warm, but it will still provide plenty of warmth upstairs, where we have the main one, and downstairs we have one, so the pipes don't freeze, because we don't want the pipes freezing. So we don't want the pipes freezing. Come down to southeast Louisiana, even our coldest days aren't that bad. Absolutely. What's your temperature right now, Ben? We have 30 degrees at 12 noon. 30 degrees Fahrenheit at 12 noon. 30 degrees at 12 noon. That's incredible. You're probably in the 40s or 50s down there in Louisiana. You know, when I was younger, I liked the snow. The cold weather didn't bother me. Now that I'm getting older, I don't like the snow anymore. It's work for me. It's a lot of work for me. As a matter of fact, let's go over here and watch this. This is this morning. It's pretty, but it's work. So that's what I woke up to this morning. Not that much snow. 3 inches, I think we got overnight, something like that. So if it gets to be 6 or 7 or 8, it obviously takes longer. It's more work. But people think, oh, you got a snowblower, you're fine. No, you're running that snowblower for a couple hours. You feel it twisting and turning, and you got to, it is self-propelled, but it does take some work. It does take it out of you. We've had a freeze this past week, but up to 43 and sunny. Very good. 30 degrees Fahrenheit in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's what it is here, 30 degrees. 80% humidity, that's what gets you. Wow, 80% in the wintertime? That's amazing. I want to I'm going to take my dog to see snow one day soon. Beautiful, especially from my beachfront condo here in Florida. Yeah. Florida is more and more attractive as I get older. I'm not a beach person, but I do like the warmth now. Atlantic Ocean, that's another place I want my dog to see. Got family in New Beach, Eric. I'm 90 miles south of there. Snowblower versus flamethrower. It would be a lot of flame throwing. Your surroundings look great. Wow. Yeah, my main driveway is very, 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 very cool. It's a beautiful, beautiful drive to the main driveway that we have. Let me just check on something here. Okay. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. For 2025, I'm using 3 main cameras. Now that snow you just saw is one of these cameras. There's our Logic Pro update. These are the 3 cameras that I'm using in 2025. I have an iPhone 16 Pro Max. I have an DJI Action 5, which I just got for Christmas. And then my Lumix S5 Mark II-X. My Lumix S5 Mark II-X. These are the 3 cameras, 1, 2, 3, that I'm using for 2025. That snow video you just saw was filmed with my the intro video of the lane of the main drive was my iPhone. That was handheld slow motion. Was it slow motion? I don't remember. Maybe not. Maybe it was filmed in 4K and I just slowed it down half speed. But the other animation of me using the snowblower was filmed on the DJI Action 5. So I've got enough cameras. I got 3 cameras. I love all 3 of them. They're all great. I'm going to sell my iPhone 15 Pro Max because initially I thought I'd want it, but I really don't use it. Not when I got the DJI Action 5 and the Lumix. I don't need a 3rd iPhone, so I'm going to sell it, get some of my money back. I produce 2 local TV shows monthly. I was using DSLRs for the longest time, just sold them all and used the iPhone 14 Pro Max and iPhone 16 Pro Max. These shows look better now. Those phones are incredible. I've had the 14, 15, and now the 16. They're incredible. But I use my iPhone 16 Pro Max most of the time because it's always with me. Pull it out like I'm doing the snow blowing this morning. I said I'm going to get a picture of this lane, pull my phone out of my pocket, just did a quick 4K video, and then brought it into Final Cut Pro, of course, and slowed it down a little bit. That's the opening scene of that one thing. So let's get on to, let me see something here. Make sure I don't miss anything. Did that. We talked about Logic Pro. We gave him congratulations. Now we're going to call Caption Animator. It's called Caption Animator. The plugin that from Philip and Greg. Now, when it first came out in Final Cut Pro, transcribed to captions, first off, I want to say it's very, very fast. Very, very fast. Ben says, and with the Blackmagic Design camera app, it's a great app. Free, a fantastic app. If I get to NAB this year, I'll hopefully we'll go to the Blackmagic booth and talk to Grant Petty again. Hopefully, he's always out on the floor talking to people. So I'll try to get to see him again if I go to NAB. Haven't decided yet. Let's get into this plugin. So initially, let me pull this up first. Initially, where is my, here. Well, that's odd. Oh, you know what? No, there it is. What the heck's going on? There we go. Why isn't that showing up over there? Let me try this again. MacBook, movies. There we are. So let me go back to here. Wait 1 second. Let me go here and drag one of these over to here. Now we'll go back over to here. Okay, there we are. So this is a something that I wanted to play around on with captioning. So I captioned this, and let me say one thing. The captioning in Final Cut Pro 11 is very, very fast. It's very fast. Accuracy, I don't know compared to like Blackmagic. Blackmagic, they're probably about the same, but the captioning, transcribe to captions in Final Cut Pro is very, very fast. That's one of the good things. So in order to get that, let me see. I don't know what the heck's going on with that. Don't want that. In order to get that, you just right-click and transcribe to captions. That's where you do that. I've already done it here, and I have them turned off. I'm going to turn them on, and I'll show you some of the problems that I have with them. Initially, this was great to have this feature. It still is. But I don't like these long captions. They're full sentences. So there's one, full sentences, because I want to use them as titles or subtitles. If you're just using them strictly as captions, makes no difference because the end user can do things to these captions. So these are the ones that Final Cut Pro made, and they're really good, but you can see they're very, very long. So I don't like them long. I like them short, more concise. The Caption animator from Philip and Greg, what it does, it converts these captions into titles, subtitles, completely customizable. You can customize fonts, you can customize colors, you can customize position, etc., etc. So that's what Caption Animator initially did. And I would like, things that I like to see have shown up. They've shown up in the new version of Caption Animator. What I wanted was a couple of things. Mainly, I wanted to be able to limit the character size, the character length, sorry, so I can limit the length of how many characters you have in those captions. The update includes that now. The update for Caption Animator now includes the ability to limit how long the titles are, because it's actually titles, not captions. Let me get these comments on screen. I am considering adding the 17 Pro Max to my 15 Pro Max later this year. 17 Pro Max, yes. And use them in 2-camera setup for my educational videos and record and log for color consistent. Apple Log is phenomenal, but I shoot it in HEVC. I see some red non-compliant captions in that timeline. You do indeed, because I'm not using, well, the non-compliance is I think they overlap. I think they're overlapping. That's why That's why. I'm not using the captions. Not using the captions. I'm using Caption Animator from Intelligent Assistance. $19 or $19.99 on the App Store. It does a great job. This new update is fantastic. So let's go over how we use that. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Here we are. These are the captions. Now, the first thing you want to do, well, first thing I'm going to do is turn captions off. Turn captions off. Then I'm going to, this is one I've already made. This is where I want this. It can be anything you want. I'm going to, let me change this while we're there. I'll change it to publish parameters. I have it normal, blend mode normal. I have it turned down somewhere. Face must be here. Yeah, I got the opacity turned down. So does that help? Yeah, now it's brighter. So now it's brighter. So let's leave it like that. The first thing you want to do is you want to make a title, regular title of where, position, font, color, where you want your titles to appear. Because Caption Animator uses that title that you make as a template. Now I've named this one Title 2. Title 2. Okay? So you go to Caption Animator, go up here to the extensions, Caption Animator, bring it up, and, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Let me go down here in Final Cut Pro. Here, instead of the screen, go here. It's doing the same thing. It's really weird. Let me pull it down here where it belongs. So it appears, the extension appears in your Final Cut Pro screen. And the instructions are here, but it's pretty simple. All you do is drag your project, audio, I think it's audio mix, over to here. And then you choose the title that you want. In my case, it's Title 2 that you want to use as your titles. Let me just pull this down a little bit. There we go. So I chose Title 2, and this is new. Characters per title. Characters per title. I don't know how they did that. It's amazing. But you have now a slider that goes characters per title. I want to go 16. Let's just say 16. No, there's 22. 16, here we go. 16, 18. Let's go with 18. So I'm going to limit my titles to 18 characters per title. Using my template, Title 2, click Go. And we want to locate, audio mix, choose, close this. Once it's done, now I have audio mix with titles. Let's open this up. This is one of the weird things that Final Cut Pro does. Why does it take my settings for color correction off when I make a new duplicate project? I have no idea. Let me just change this. I'm going to change this to, I don't know, why does it do that? Every time I have to go back and set, let me change that. I got to change all these, just take me a second. It's weird, but when I duplicate a project, it does the exact same thing. It takes the settings do not go with the duplicate. The setting that I'm changing is color conform to automatic, from manual to automatic. I don't know why that doesn't stick, but it does not. But it does not. Let's go back to Final Cut Pro here. So now we're back in Final Cut Pro. This is the new project that Caption Animator made with titles. These are all the titles. Now I'm turning captions off. Don't need both. And the titles are now here. This is a great update. So here we go. One of the questions that I have about the iPhone 16 Pro Max is their audio mix feature that they showed back in the fall. It looks interesting. They're using 4 microphones of the iPhone. Now, I place mine in a secondary storyline for one of the reasons is, let me just show you. Take that back over here. I don't know why it keeps going down. One of the reasons is, let's see here. Of the iPhone. So it says of the iPhone. Phones of the iPhone. Now, one of the things I want to do. Microphones. First off, you can use the T key and you can roll this back and forth between the 2 titles. But in this case, I'm going to actually edit this caption. One of the best things about Final Cut Pro working with captions is you can edit them in the viewer. You don't have to go all the way to the inspector. Hold on one second. Let me just adjust this up. I don't know why it's because it's down there. You don't have to go all the way to the viewer to adjust captions. So in this case, let me see what it says. Microphones. So in this case, microphones. If I double click on that, I can just type in here. Now this is something else that I do. Microphones. I use voice dictation to modify my titles. I just did that live. So now it's going to say microphones where it's supposed to. Microphones. And now I want to edit this one. Take out microphones because I put it in the one before. And you have to go through and adjust. I have to do this in microphones of the iPhone. And once again, let me just tap the T key and I can adjust this back. Of the iPhone. See how this works? How good this is compared to the other captions? $20 in the App Store. $20 in the App Store. It does a great job. Great job. This will keep me in Final Cut Pro now when I do captions for the most part. Now I still can do text-based editing in DaVinci Resolve and auto captions, but if I just want to do captions, this will keep me in Final Cut Pro now. So you still have to adjust. You got to adjust different things, but the fact that they did character limits out of Apple's extremely long full sentence captions is amazing. Kudos to Philip and Greg. Let's go over there. Let's pull it up on the App Store. Let's pull it up on the App Store. While we're here, I'm going to pull this up so you know where it is. Search for intelligent assistance. So this is what you get when you pull up Intelligent Assistants in the App Store, I'm going here, Intelligent Assistants Developer. And the one we want is Caption Animator. And there it is, Caption Animator. I think it's $19.99. That's where you want to go. Caption Animator, captions to animated titles. So if you wanted your titles animated, you can also use an animated title in Final Cut Pro as your template. You can also use animated titles in Final Cut Pro as your template, and Caption Animator will use the animation from the titles. Just CapCut kind of thing or whatever. But that's where it is. What do you think? Kudos to Philip and Greg over there in Intelligent Assistants. Great, great job. Fantastic. Like I said, it's going to keep me in Final Cut Pro now to do captions. Let's get some of these comments up. I see some red. No, we already talked about that. I think they were overlapping. I don't think they're non-compliant. Yes, that, as far as that goes. I'm recording ProRes LT as I've not take the time to find out how to do transcode imported files into ProRes, and I'm having a transcode to ProRes LT, decided to record in that. That's completely fine, but you can't record ProRes LT in log unless you use the Blackmagic Camera app. The only option in the native camera app is ProRes HQ, which is very, very big file sizes. So I don't use that. I use HEVC in the Blackmagic Camera app. I would use the Final Cut Camera app, but you can't switch cameras while you're recording. You have to stop the recording, select a new camera, and then start a recording. And I use that all the time. The native camera app has it, and I showed the guy in the Final Cut Pro team that's in charge of Final Cut Camera. I said, look, this is what you need to do. Tap, 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 4 different cameras while you're recording, and it switches to all of them very, very effectively. So once Final Cut Camera gets that feature, I will use it. I'm not using it until that feature. I'll use Blackmagic Camera app. I am lazy, I know, but I really not bothered by the file size as my videos are not that long. There you go. That's fine. That's fine. No problem. What was the default characters per title before updated version? They followed exactly what whatever Apple did. It just took the full-length caption and converted it into a title. So Apple uses full sentences. For the most part, they use a full sentence. I don't want a full sentence going across my screen when I'm reading like this. No, I want nice, concise, 16, 18 characters seems to work for me. Now, I'm not captioning an entire hour movie now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 3 minutes or less, videos that are 3 minutes or less. I want 16 to 18 characters right in the center of the screen. That's what I want. Now, this came out this week, so very, very cool. Very, very cool, I must say. Let's just grab this. There we go. I'm just making screen grabs of all the users we have. We have over 100 users right now. 64 over there on the X platform, and lots of you on YouTube, and Facebook never gives me a live count, so I don't know what they are. But we're over 100 live viewers right now. So what did you think? $20 over there in the App Store. It takes Final Cut Pro does the captioning, the captioning, transcribe the captions, and then the Intelligent Assistant app takes the transcription and gives you character limits, and you can get anything you want. You can put any font you want, any position you want, any color you want. It's creating titles from captions. It's really, really good. There's something for the Final Cut Pro team watching to look into. The loss of color correction on project duplication. It's one setting. So it's the what is it? The The one setting doesn't go, Final Cut Pro Teen. Let me see where it is. What is it? And it's aggravating. When I duplicate a project, color conform. Okay, I set it to automatic. And for some reason, when I duplicate a project, it switches it back to manual. Why doesn't that stay with the project when you duplicate a project? Final Cut Pro Teen, Final Cut Pro Team. Why does that happen? It happens all the time. And then I got to go back and switch them all to, you can select them all and do it all at once, but in that case, I had some clips that were just native clips and some that were inside a compound clip. So then I got to go into the compound clip and I got to do the main, whatever the video is, and switch that back, and then everything's fine. But when I duplicate a project, why doesn't it duplicate the color conform? Why does it switch it to manual? Final Cut Pro Team, another bug fix. Phil and Greg have to purchase when Apple add Danish to their AI translations. Lets Apple add those features to Final Cut Pro themselves. It would not surprise me. Philip and Greg know that. It would not surprise me. I'm using Blackmagic Camera app because of the ability to record and log in different ProRes as well as HD465. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great application and it has all flavors. I think it's 2 different data rates you can do. Already bought it, but don't need it too often and haven't used it yet. Got it for $15. Absolutely. Before Christmas, it was for $15, which we talked about many times. Our friend Matthew Pate says, morning, Richard. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think HEVC is mandatory as codec. You can't use ProRes or HQ Reg on any portable recording devices. Data rate above 100 megabits per second is too high, period. Okay. That's good to know. What if you want to change the title style after, like something to third party, TikTok short style thing? Just do it again? Yes, just do it again. It creates a new timeline for you. It creates a new timeline. So whatever you want to do your title that you're going to use as template in the project you're working on. And then I named mine, in this case, 1 and 2, so I knew which one was which. And just make a new title, run it through. It'll change everything, and it creates a new timeline for you. So it's very slick. $20. Come on. $20. Now, if you went to the Creative Summit, Philip and Greg graciously gave everybody a copy of that free. Everybody that went to the Creative Summit, it is expensive. $600 last year when you got a discount. FCP radio something was $500. But you got this plugin, you got other software things that part of the deal. We got food, which was really, really cool this time at the Juniper Hotel. Do you think we will get captions to titles feature this year? Personally, I think yes. I'm not sure if Philip thinks so, but I think yes. I think we will get that. I mean, they've already done the hard work, right? They've already done the hard work. They've already done transcribe to caption. So the transcription is done. The transcription is done. I know that they've heard this hundreds or thousands of times since this came out. We want transcribed to titles. So it would not surprise me if it comes out. Here's what I think. I think we're going to get 11.0.1 in January. Bug fix. Maybe a feature or two. And then maybe we'll get 11.0.2 in time for NAB in April. Yeah, just the way I like to think. Birds. Birds say thank you for the suet. We take care of all of our animals around here. We feed the birds. We have bird suet there, and we have a bird feeder, and we have seed on the ground that they can see in the white snow. Yep. Brett says, yeah, I got mine. Thanks, Philip and Greg. Absolutely. Fantastic. Now, let me just check on my temperature. I got to do this adjustment. 160 degrees, I think it is. So we're not bad. So that's the deal with that. Captions are much, much, much more usable right now inside of Final Cut Pro when you can convert them to titles. Ben says audio mixer. It's probably my number one. Text-based editing and audio mixer are my 1 and 2. Audio mixer, absolutely. We'll be getting that maybe in 11.1, maybe before. So 11.0.1, probably in January. That's my guess. And then 11.0.2 will maybe have a few features. So one of the curious things that I've talked about when I talk about features, here's a video I did this week, and I think this feature is coming to Final Cut Pro. One of the questions that I have about the iPhone 16 Pro Max is their audio mix feature that they showed back in the fall. It looks interesting. They're using 4 microphones of the iPhone, and they have different options when you record with surround sound. You have cinematic, you have standard, you have studio, 4 separate settings that you can do on the iPhone 16 Pro Max with audio. My question is, where is that information stored? Is it stored in the file itself? Or is it only on the iPhone? Well, I found out the answer to that. So here, I located the file in my Final Cut Pro library in the Finder, and I drug it over to the Photos app on my Mac. And look what we have, audio mix on the Macintosh from the file that I imported in Final Cut Pro. So the information stays with the file. It's stored in the file itself. So since it's stored in the file itself, why can't we access that in Final Cut Pro? And when you export that file to your Mac, it's available on the Mac, but it's not available in Final Cut Pro. I was kind of expecting it in Final Cut Pro 11 at the Creative Summit last year, but it didn't show up. Now I'm thinking when we get the first update, Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 or Final Cut Pro 11.0.2, probably around NAB this year, at that point, we're probably going to get the ability to adjust the audio mix that we shot on our iPhone 16 Pro inside of Final Cut. It's not there yet, but the information is in the video file. So you shoot on the iPhone 16, you have the audio mix features, 4 different levels. Doesn't show up in Final Cut Pro, but it does show up in the Mac. If you bring the file over from the phone, put it on a Macintosh, put it in Photos app, it shows up. So the information is in the file, Final Cut Pro can't see it. Photos app can. Final Cut Pro, come on. Why can't we adjust those different settings in Final Cut Pro? No idea. Well, the idea, they haven't added it yet. I'm looking forward to text-based editing, but not for what you normally use it for. What are you talking about? What would you use it for? I use it for long form. I use it in DaVinci Resolve for long. If I got a show that's an hour long and I want to cut it down quickly, rather than listen to the entire show in real time, I can look at a paragraph of text, select it, drop it into timeline, select it, drop it into timeline. Much faster to do a rough edit with text-based editing than real-time listening or any other way. So that's what I use. I don't use text-based editing on a 3-minute video or just something quick going to social media. No, this is for long form editing. 45 minutes to an hour. I want to cut it down to 10 minutes or so. That's what I use it for. At least that's my idea. Now, what else do we have? Let's go back over here to movies. I'm going to find another movie I want to show you. This is a very funny movie that I shot this week. Let me see where that is. Is that OWC Snow? It's called Snow. Snow, Snow, Snow. We've had a lot of snow in the last couple of days. Here it is. Let me see what this is. Nope, that's snow preparations. Don't want that. Let me just pull this up. I just want to show you this one Monday. Is that it? Yeah, this is it. Let me just show you this one. It's at the, I'm going to just show you the end. It's something funny. Here we go. So I did this video. This week. This was Monday. Monday morning I got, this is the one we had about 5 or 6 inches. This was all shot with my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Not bad. It was really dark out, so it did a pretty good job with low light. But what I wanted to show you was this. Let me show you this. This is our cat room. So I built a sunroom. This is all glass. We have three right now, 3 community cats that live between my house and the neighbors behind me. It's a very safe area. They go back and forth. One of them stays on the porch most of the time. The other one comes and goes a little bit. The third one has an owner. The one you're going to see here in a minute. He has an owner across the street, but this cat likes to come over into our cat room. Now, right below here, there's a way to get into that cat room. It's a cat door, but it's protected from the wind and it keeps bigger animals out. So right here, you'll see in a second, you'll see him come out of there and then watch what he does. There's a heated sunroom that we made for the cats during the wintertime. There's one right there. There he is coming out. Where are you going? Thinking about it, it's pretty cold. He says, I'm going to run away, run in the snow. Wait a minute. That sunroom was pretty nice and warm. He's thinking about it. I think he's thinking about it. Sunroom. Come on back. Changed his mind. Back to the sunroom. Back to the sunroom where it's nice and warm. To heck with this snow. There he is, back in the sunroom. There he is, waiting for breakfast. Much better decision. So he ran out, stopped in his tracks, and made a beeline back for the heated sunroom. Now, the sunroom has 3 electric heated pads that the cats sleep on. And then when it's really cold, I'll put a room heater in there as well. It keeps it, it raises the temperature a little bit. It doesn't keep it up to 80 degrees or anything, but it raises a little bit, but it keeps them dry if they're wet and stuff. So I thought that was funny. I have to catch a preacher every time he reads text, and now I have to watch in real time. I want to search and find text exactly. That's exactly what I do. Or AI could find every instance where he looks down at his podium and marks it. Very good. What does Caption animator do when a word is longer than the setting? Does one character do one which whole word? I think it does whole words at a time, whatever it rounds off, I presume. It doesn't, I don't think it split words in half. But that's all adjustable after the fact, and I always have to micro adjust titles. Spelling sometimes, proper names, but sometimes they're off a little bit, but that's same as DaVinci Resolve. I can't just use the title and go out. I always got to micro adjust it. So you have two options with Caption Animator. You can put it each as individual clips, or you can put it in a secondary storyline. I put it in a secondary storyline so I can roll between two titles, so I can roll them if it's not quite right. I was skiing up there in Winter Place, West Virginia last weekend. How far is that from you? West Virginia, the border's not that far. The border's probably about an hour, but that's northern West Virginia. If you were skiing, you're probably in the mountains. It's probably more southern West Virginia. So that's hours away. That is hours away. My GSD loves sleeping in the frozen dew on the front lawn at 4 a.m. during a hard freeze. Got to get her to see snow. Absolutely. Snow is incredible. As long as I'm warm. When I was younger, I worked construction. I worked outside for a lot of winters, and I didn't like it. I never liked working in the cold. I'd rather work in the heat than the cold. But anyway, I have a wood-burning stove. It's 1,000 degrees. Internally, the catalyst combustor is what it is. So this wood-burning stove reburns the smoke. It sends it back through to this very, very hot catalyst combustor, and it reburns the smoke so it goes out cleaner. We got over 100 people watching live right now. So what did you think about that Caption Animator? $20. $20. Come on. It's a great plugin. I'm going to use it all the time now. And I used to always use Resolve for captioning. If I'm doing a short video now, I want to caption, nope, just do it in Final Cut, use Caption Animator, and it's very easy. I don't have to go to Resolve. Now, like I said, I still do text-based editing in Resolve. I'm thinking we're going to get text-based editing in Final Cut. I'm thinking we're going to get transcribe to captions, either one of two things, transcribe to title subtitles or convert captions to titles subtitles. But in the meantime, we got Caption Animator for $20. It's fantastic. Good afternoon. Stopped by to drop off a like and positive energy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We got over 100 people watching live right now, which is really, really good. There's another one. Look at that. Yeah, the likes help. For the first time I monetized my YouTube channel was last year. And, it's pretty cool. It helps with some spending money when I go places like NAB or let me turn this off. Let me see what my temperature is right now. 159 Fahrenheit. I'm going to quit Final Cut Pro because that's using some resources. There we go. There we go. Let me just see what that is. Yeah, we got 67 people watching over there on X live right now. A lot of people. A lot of activity over there. Over 100 total. I don't know what the Facebook count is because they don't report live. And not in Ecamm. I can't get a live Facebook count. YouTube and X are over 100 people watching live. But it's a snowy, snowy day out here on the East Coast of the good old USA. All right. Let's talk about Final Cut Pro a little bit more. Grab your cup of tea or cup of coffee. I'm not going to change this to Final Cut TV and tea. That's not going to happen. It's going to be coffee. I have my big Snoopy mug that I had this morning, but this afternoon I felt like having tea, so that's what I did. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let me just check here. So does anybody with the iPhone 16 Pro, is anybody using that audio mix feature? I'm not sure what it's doing. It's using AI, and it's probably using the 4 microphones on the iPhone. I don't think it works with external microphones. I haven't verified that yet, but I don't think it works if you have an external microphone hooked up. I think it only works with if you record on the native microphones of the iPhone and it's whatever. I have to verify that, but I don't see how it could because it's using 4 different things and stuff, but it's in the file. It shows up in the Mac, doesn't show up in Final Cut Pro. Facebook is 1, and now I left for YouTube. Thank you. Don't use audio mix. No clue what it does. Just help me. No, I know that we don't know. I'm hoping we'll get some more information of what the heck it's doing. It does you can hear the audio changing, and it says it uses AI. The thing is, if it's on my phone, I want access to it in Final Cut Pro. Okay? If it's on my phone, the feature, I want access to it in Final Cut Pro. Don't have to use it. Oh, one of them is standard. One of the options is standard audio. The other 3 do other things, and I don't know what they do. AI, microphone placements. It does seem to help in some circumstances. I wanted to find out if it's in the file. It's in the file. There's no reason why Final Cut Pro can't access that. Well, there's a reason. They haven't got it incorporated yet. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. Absolutely appreciated. I'm really liking Final Cut Pro 11. I really like it a lot. The bugs haven't affected me so far. Audio mix is a consumer feature, not a pro feature. Why even add it to Final Cut Pro application? Why, if it's here, it's in my phone, why add cinematic? It's in here. It's in Final Cut. Audio mix is in here. It should be in Final Cut. It should be in Final Cut. If you're recording on your iPhone 16 Pro Max, with the native camera, with the native microphones, audio mix can help with the audio. We don't have it in Final Cut Pro. Of course it's going to be in Final Cut Pro. Do you consider cinematic mode a consumer? It's in Final Cut Pro. Why add it here and not in Final Cut? It's no big deal. It's in the Photos app. It's in the Photos app. Go take the Photos app team over to lunch coffee one day and steal their notes on how they did it. Yeah, what makes it a consumer feature? It's just another option. I agree with you, Ben. Why add it? Because I'd rather the developer's time spent making a pro audio mixer. That's not going to stop. I understand, but you can't say, oh, I want the Final Cut Pro team to do this. I don't want the Final Cut Pro team to do that. I heard that for 13 years with the scrolling timeline. People said, I don't want them to spend time on the scrolling timeline. I want them to spend time on the features that I want. Hogwash. There's no reason not to have it in Final Cut Pro when it's on the iPhone. And they made a big deal about it. They were doing that film. Apple did that film using that feature. It'll show up in Final Cut Pro. And if you don't think it will, because it's a consumer feature, you can join my Buy Me a Coffee brigade and buy me a coffee when it shows up in Final Cut Pro. It's definitely coming. Studio mode reduces background noise. Cinematic does not. There's 4 modes. There's cinematic, there's standard, cinematic, something, 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 something. There's three different modes besides standard that do different things than voice isolation. You can still use voice isolation, but these are different things, and if you want to use them, have the option inside of Final Cut. In-frame mode reduces sounds and voices from sources not visible in the video frame. There you go. I figured that Final Cut Pro is so closely tied to the iPhones now, if an iPhone does something, it should automatically be in Final Cut Pro. I agree. I thought it was going to show up sooner, but it didn't. I'm sure they have many sub-teams to assign tasks. The dev team is divided into groups working on different features, bugs, all at the same time. I don't have a problem with audio mix being added to Final Cut Pro. I just think it's kind of a lackluster feature. Well, that's fine. I mean, of all the features, if you had a checklist of all the features in Final Cut Pro, they wouldn't all be 100% that you like every one of them 100%. So different features. The fact that the iPhone has it and it does something to the audio that's not available in Final Cut Pro, I want it available in Final Cut Pro. I understand what you're saying, Tyler. I'm just saying, is there a tutorial explaining different audio modes anywhere? There's some very light information about what a descriptor of what's happening. Apple has a video using this. They're doing a film, and they're using the different modes, and they're talking about what each one does. It is AI, just like cinematic mode. It is not real blurring. It's something else, whatever they're doing. It is an F number you can adjust. But anyway, it's in the Photos app. How hard can it be to switch it over to Final Cut? Do you have to use it? No. Click on Standard. It's not being used. The other 3 modes are not being used. Click on Standard, using the standard microphones. I want more options if I use the phone. Now, a couple of things I'm going to talk about real quick. When I'm shooting with my DJI Action 5, and I'll wear it over here, or I'll wear it like here if I'm filming just general audiences and stuff. Or if I'm out for a walk, for example, I'll put it over here, wear it over here. I'm out for a walk and talking while I'm walking. The audio is phenomenal because the distance from my mouth to the microphones is very, very close. It's like wearing a lapel microphone. So when I'm this close, the audio is really, really good on this DJI Action 5. Same way with the iPhone. If I'm holding it like this, doing a selfie, I'm close enough that the microphones pick up quality audio. Or if I'm filming in front, but I'm close to the tier, my voice is very, very clear. The audio is very, very clear. If I'm holding it, if I'm 6, 8, 10 feet away, the audio is not so good. What isn't AI these days? I can answer that. What did John Lennon say? All you need is love. Isn't the real meaning of it, whatever. So, yeah, I agree with you, Ben. Everything is AI, but AI is not that. We haven't got to Terminator level yet, of course, or Babylon, or what is that other show, Babylon something, where the AI took over. Would really like that either Final Cut comes out with a full professional mixing window or Logic updates its mixing features for post-mixing, add preview automation. Yes. Jess. Thumbs up for that. Thumbs up for that. Now, here's the thing. It would be great. Well, yes, if Logic added a feature set, because right now it's based for music, musicians, and scoring. You're right. I never thought about them adding a feature set to use and make it more valuable in post. Absolutely. That's a great, great idea. That is a great, great idea. And Final Cut Pro has a mixing board, okay? There is a mixing board in Final Cut Pro. I know there's a mixing board, just like I knew there was a scrolling timeline. For years and years and years it was there, and they finally turned it on. There is a mixing board inside of Final Cut Pro. They haven't released it yet for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a roles-based mixer. I don't know what the heck they're doing. It exists. It'll be available at some point. Don't know when. That's a great point. Adding logic updates to be more beneficial for post houses. That would be fantastic. I'm not sure what that means. Colossus, the Forbin Project, is that a movie, TV reference? Had a battery die in a mic recorder, didn't have extra battery with me, bad me, so use audio from iPhone 16 Pro Max, voice isolation in Final Cut Pro, you never know the difference. As long as you hold it up, as long as it's fairly close to you, absolutely. This does a great, great job recording audio in the proximity. Not if it's 6 feet away, but in proximity, within a couple of feet anyway, but even closer if you had to. Great job. Absolutely great job. I agree with you, Ben. Battlestar Galactica, that's it. Babylon 5 is even better, but Battlestar Galactica. Yep, that's the one I'm thinking of. I'm really hoping AI will in fact take over, but then I'm just that lazy and don't want to do anything. I know what you mean. So the idea is I want AI to do things that are boring, transcribe my audio to captions, transcribe my audio to titles, be able to find words in the transcription, etc. You can do that in DaVinci Resolve. Once it transcribes the audio, you can just search the text file and find whatever word you want, and it auto-locates the video file to the same place. So that's all AI stuff. That's great. I don't want AI to do audio. I don't want AI to edit for me other than a rough cut. Maybe a rough cut. I like the art of editing, and I always will. AI computer movie, there you go. Apple has a patent for roles-based mixer. They got it shortly after FCPX was originally released. Very interesting. Missed that somehow. The iPhone was 25 feet from the speaker and voice isolation worked. Yes, you can get voice isolation helps immensely. It really, really is a great, great feature. It's available to any developer that wants to use it. AI rotoscoping through magnetic mask, great use. Use it a lot. There you go. There you go. Absolutely. I want AI to do laundry, dishes, mix, drinks. So speaking of, what was it? Battlestar Galactica. You know these robo vacuum cleaners that they have? They roll around, they learn the layout of your floor, and they vacuum. They now have one that has a little arm that can come out and pick up anything in front of it, and it takes it over to a bin. So it actually cleans up your room for you. Just small things. It's not going to move a table, of course. And it takes it over to places that in a bin, and then it continues vacuuming. And I just saw that at CES. So yes, I want AI to do the boring things in life. Would I like an AI robot lawnmower? Absolutely. Let it scope out my yard, but then somebody would have to watch it though, so nobody comes by and takes it. I'd do the backyard first. Absolutely. Got a little camera on there, see what's going on. That would be great. But I do like being physically active, so some things I don't mind. Snow blowing this morning. You know, it's interesting. So it's 30 degrees outside, 28 degrees outside. I'm doing snow blowing. When I come inside, I'm sweated. I sweated because it's so much work. It's a lot of work. Snowblower is fantastic. I couldn't go along without it, but it's still a lot of work. I don't have one of those with power steering. I know the new ones have power steering. The new ones, and I'm already jealous, have power steering and heated handles. Power steering and heated handles. I don't have power steering. I don't have heated handles. I had to put gloves on and a winter coat and a hood and all that stuff. But the new ones have power steering and heated handles. Maybe I'll pick one up for next winter, and sell the one that I have. Mine's pretty old, but it works really well. My wife wants AI to keep my daughter's room clean for her. There you go. Perfect use of AI. Perfect use of AI. So what else? So speaking of AI, I think Mark Spencer did a video this week of trying to get AI to teach Final Cut Pro, and it didn't work so well. It did not work so well. Let me see if I can, let me just check on one thing real quick here. Just going to double check. Just checking on one thing. Yeah, so Mark did a, let me see, I'll look up, let me look up. He did a video trying to get AI to teach Final Cut Pro. Didn't work so well. It did not work so well. It had a lot of things wrong. It said things were real that weren't real. I rewound and now it's showing me an ad again. Let me skip the ad, pull it up here. So this is our friend Mark Spencer, and he wasn't successful using AI. At first he was maybe a little more excited but as he went through it, it was not as successful. It said things were in Final Cut that were not in Final Cut. It had menu items that didn't exist, et cetera, et cetera. And it kept saying, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. So you can watch that over on their YouTube channel. That was funny. Watching you do this show, then you cut the camera on your mower instead of the bird feeder. Yeah, that would be exactly correct. I just watched Mark's video. I had done a similar experiment. AI got lots of facts wrong. So AI was telling Mark to go to here, and it wasn't there in the interface, and Mark would correct it and say, no, that's not correct, et cetera, et cetera. So it has limited use, but it also, if somebody's brand new to Final Cut, it could tell them completely wrong information. So it's not there yet. Will it get there? Sure. It'll get better. It'll get better, but it's not there yet. We got 120 people watching live right now. Pretty cool. Saturday. So I think I'm going to switch to 12 noon, maybe till the springtime for Saturdays, Final Cut TV and Coffee. I think I'll switch to, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell over there at youtube.com at Richard Taylor TV. I'm not leaving yet, but here's our Facebook group, facebook.groups Final Cut Pro Radio TV. That's wrong. That's not right. What the heck's going on there? I changed that a long time ago. Final Cut TV Radio. I do more radio than anything. This is it. Here we go. Oh, look at that. It changed size. Bizarre. Anyway, this is it. Facebook.com/groups Final Cut TV Radio. That's where we talk about things like after the this live stream. I've experimented with Cherokee language lessons and dog training and carpentry lessons with AI. Total waste of time on all of them. Way too many things were wrong. Yeah, I know. But we're still at the beginning stages, right? I mean, AI, we're still at the beginning stages, so we'll see. Got to keep control. Although we want to make sure we have a kill switch, more than one. I mean, I'm afraid AI is pushed without taking into account it is about everything workflow. We only use small parts of it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, transcribing audio to captions, absolutely. Transcribing audio to titles, absolutely. Text-based editing, absolutely. Voice isolation, absolutely. All those things. Oh, by the way, I want to just mention this on a serious note. All my friends in California, Los Angeles, whatever, I'm thinking about you, praying for you with all these crazy, crazy wildfires out there. That's all I'm going to say, but I am thinking about each and every one people that I know out there. I know there's been fires in the past. This seems to have been worse. Kill switch for humans, no AI. Yes, the kill switch is for humans to use it. More than one. Absolutely. Kill switch for humans, no AI. Yeah, absolutely. Do you need AI? No. Do you need to be on Facebook? No. Do you need to be on YouTube? No. You don't need it to have a complete life. I use it for Final Cut Pro stuff. I use it for animal rescue. I use it for humor and things like that. I control it. Who is on my timelines and who subscribes and stuff like that. If I see somebody raising a lot of nonsense, you're gone. I'm going to get rid of you. Look at that. Another one. So my predictions are this. Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 sometime in January. Final Cut Pro 11.0.2 with a feature or two, maybe audio mix from the iPhone, maybe another feature or two. Do I think we're going to have no features between now and the summit next year? That'd be disappointing. That'd be very disappointing if we have to wait so long. Bug fix, maybe NAB, which is in the beginning of April. Maybe we will get Final Cut Pro 11.0.2. They can do anything they want with these updates. They can just do a bug fix. They can do 2 bug fixes like Logic has done. Logic is up to 11.1.2. They can throw a feature in there. They can throw audio mix in there since it's already in the Photos app, et cetera, et cetera. When do I predict the next Final Cut Pro update? As far as a bug fix, I expect it in January. I expect 11.0.1 to be in January. Usually they don't wait this long for bug fixes, but they have waited 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So I'd say January for 11.0.1. Maybe they'll do a bug feature update for NAB this year. Give us a couple features with some more bug fixes, couple. We'll see. NAB has not been Final Cut Pro. There's been zero Final Cut Pro activity for years. Last year was ridiculous. There was nothing Final Cut Pro related at NAB, the biggest broadcast event in the world. Now, I'm not saying it's mandatory, but they've done it in the past, and they've been very successful. When the Final Cut Pro team does presentations at NAB, like in 2017 and 2018, packed houses. They were packed houses. 300, 400 people, whatever it was, 250, 300, whatever it was. So the interest is there. Don't know if it's Apple, corporate, whatever. Of course it costs them money, but how about taking care of your customers? I think your customers would appreciate Final Cut Pro being an NAB at some level. Even in Canada, we hear about it. We send fire planes from Quebec too. I saw that. I was very impressed. Scooping up seawater and then dumping it on the fires to get them under control. But anyway, I want everybody that's having a hard time in California, and the people that had a hard time down south, I want them taken care of with hurricanes and stuff, tornado. I want them all taken care of as much as possible. So, yes, we got a lot of people watching. What else are we going to talk about today? Let me just check my notes. I think we've covered. So, Caption Animator, $20. Let Final Cut do the transcribe the captions, and then Caption Animator does the back to titles or subtitles, whatever you want to call them. It's a great $20, and the App Store. Is anybody watching from California that's affected by the fires right now? Just want to, if you can, chime in. Let me know how you're doing. I have friends in California. We visited California in November, Cupertino. But anybody that's being affected by the fires, I'm surely thinking about you. Absolutely. Let me see. So let me just do one more thing here. Saturday snow. This is kind of, I'm going to do something different this year, but I've started, here's our kitty cats, outdoor cats. I've started Final Cut Pro Radio Year 10. Year 10 with Final Cut Pro Radio. We just started Year 10 in January. Over 2 million. I have 2 podcasts. Final Cut Pro Radio is probably the most popular. Over 2 million audio downloads. Got to run, Richard. Another good show. Keep it up. Have a great weekend. Thanks, same to you, Ben. Have a good weekend. Keep warm down there in Louisiana. We even have French-speaking peoples from California talking about devastating effects of this fire in our French news about every day. It's horrible. It's horrible. You know, let's take care of people that are affected, losing their homes. I don't even want to think about the poor animals. It's a horrible situation. But they've been through it before. This might have been the worst one, but anyway, we're all thinking about you. The Final Cut Pro community is thinking about everybody there, people from Final Cut TV. I don't want to dwell on it because there's enough of it in the news, but please be as safe as you can possibly be, and everybody help each other. Everybody help each other. Help each other get through this. That's about all I have to say for today. We'll end on a happy note. I expect Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 to be out in January, sometime in January, the next 3 or 4 weeks. And I expect 11.0.2 sometime, maybe by NAB. We'll have another surprise, a couple of features or whatever. So the Final Cut Pro team, congratulations, not congratulations, thank you. Not the Final Cut Protein, Final Cut Pro team. I have to separate Pro team. I have to separate those words because captioning always says Final Cut Protein. No, Final Cut Pro team. Let's see if it gets it right this time. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for tuning in. We are Final Cut TV and Coffee. Don't forget to subscribe over there on YouTube. YouTube.com at Richard Taylor TV, of course. I enjoy calling it protein. That's what it always does. That's what it always does. It says Final Cut Protein when it transcribes. So I have to specifically stop after pro and then say team. Also, we want to give congratulations to the Logic Pro team, who've had 2 updates in 6 weeks since Logic 11.1 came out. I think that's all we have for today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Saturday, keeping warm. As a matter of fact, let me go over here and I'll show you what keeps me warm. I will show you what keeps me warm. Where is that movie? Nope, not that one. Snow Monday. Here we go. This is what keeps me warm. This is what keeps me warm. This is 1,000 degrees inside the catalyst combustor. This heats my entire house. Fantastic, fantastic source of heat. Buck stove. Had it for a long time. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. And what else do we have? Oh, we have fireworks for the new year. We have fireworks for the new year. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in each and every Saturday. If Final Cut Pro 11.0.1 comes out during the week, I'll try to come on and do a live stream in the afternoon. Just run down what's going on. If not, I will see you, each and every one of you, plus your friends. Don't forget to bring your friends next Saturday. Probably 12 noon. Sometimes I'm going to go on at 10 o'clock. You have to subscribe to the channel to figure out what time. I post it on all the places, on X and Facebook groups and everything. All right, everybody? You're the best. Happy New Year to you. Gilbert, absolutely. Happy New Year to 2025 will be the best year for everybody. Please, if you're in California, take care. Help each other. Help each other in California. Help each other. Talk to everybody later.